Good morning, student. We have already discussed till Golgi bodies and lysosome, and I am reminding you about those topic. I am repeating it once again. First of all, in Golgi bodies, I have told you it is just the part of endoplasmic reticulum which is originated from the nucleus, as you have already noticed in that diagram which I have drawn in the last class. In that I have shown you how the endoplasmic reticulum lets the Golgi bodies emerge from them, and then I have explained you about its working and functioning, how do they work and what are their function. In that I have told you they generally deals with the packaging, modification and transmission of protein to the target cell or target cell parts. So that was the function of Golgi bodies. In that I have also told you about the some of the vesicles which are generated from Golgi bodies and containing digestive enzyme are regarded as lysosomes. And also I have discussed about the functioning of lysosome, because I have already told you lysosome does not have any specialized structure to be discussed. So in lysosome what we need to discuss is about its function. In that I have told you, first of all, as it contains digestive enzyme, it will help in digestion. If any cellular digestion is going out in cell, so lysosome will function over there. And the most important things that I have discussed about lysosome were, first thing that I have told you that lysosome are regarded as suicidal bag, and I have told you why. In that I have told you sometimes when cell are unable to functions or they get destroyed or they started malfunctioning, in that case lysosome exhibits or they releases their digestive enzyme into the cell, and whole component of the cell gets digested. And this is necessary because if any cell is malfunctioning, it keeps on increasing its number at a rapid rate, and in that case when malfunctioning cell numbers increases, your tissue or the part of the body of which that cell is associated gets degraded. So to prevent that cell which is malfunctioning or not up to the mark to their function are to be digested, and that is done by lysosome. And hence you have here seen that the enzymes present in lysosomes lets their own cell digest. That's why they are regarded as suicidal bag. And also I have told you lysosomes are also regarded as cellular scavenger. And why so? I have discussed it because you will listen it carefully, though I will provide you notes in that everything will be written, but you need to listen these things carefully because these questions are asked frequently. You will have to explain why lysosomes are regarded as suicidal bag, why lysosomes are regarded as cellular scavenger. So you need to listen these things carefully. So I am discussing now why lysosomes are regarded as cellular scavenger. In that I have told you, if any component of the cell is dead, the dead component present inside the cell is definitely going to hurt that cell or may distract their function. So to prevent that, lysosomes, what it does, that the component of the cell or the cell organelle which is dead or not functioning properly, they engulf those cell part. Component of the cell which is not functioning, lysosome will engulf those cellular component which is dead, and they will digest it, and hence preventing cell from malfunctioning. So they are regarded as cellular scavenger. You must be knowing what scavenger mean. Any organism which eats dead and decaying component. That is what here lysosome is doing. It is engulfing the dead component of the cell and digesting it. Hence they are regarded as cellular scavenger. And the next I have told you about lysosome is that it also helps in putting out debris out of the cell, and how I've already explained it. It takes in those debris and then lysosome starts moving towards the cell membrane, attach itself with the cell membrane, and hence with a small breakage into the membrane it releases those debris out of the cell. And one more function that I've told you about lysosome is about the foreign particle. If any foreign particles or microbes, you can say, or any harmful pathogens get into the cell, or any harmful component or foreign particles get into the cell which are harmful for the cell, in that case what lysosome will do? It will engulf those foreign particles and then digest it, hence preventing damage to the cell. So these were the functions that lysosomes is doing. And now coming to the next topic or next cell organelle, you can say, which is mitochondria, and it is very important. Mitochondria is a cell organelle which has its own genome, which has its own genetic material, and hence the reason behind it is that in earlier days, or you can say millions, thousands of years ago, mitochondria used to be a prokaryotic cell. Mitochondria used to independently exist as a prokaryotic cell, but with the evolution of cell, mitochondria comes under the cell and started to be a cell organelle. But earlier, the presence of genome inside mitochondria proves that earlier it used to be a independent cell with their own genetic material. So this is the main thing that you need to know about mitochondria. Sometimes it is asked why mitochondria contains, and there is one more cell organelle which has their own genetic material, that is chloroplast, and present in plant cell. That is our next topic. So now we are stuck with mitochondria and we are going to discuss about mitochondria. So in this case, mitochondria, you must have heard about it, that it is regarded as powerhouse of the cell. So the reason behind it, why they are regarded as powerhouse of the cell, is that it generally deals with the energy generation mechanism. So why mitochondria are regarded as powerhouse of the cell? As I have told you, the respiration mechanism deals with the energy generation. In that, first of all, food is broken down into pyruvate. That pyruvate goes into mitochondria, and their whole series of energy generation process goes on. So in that case, the energy generation process that you see is completely carried out in mitochondria. That's why they are regarded as powerhouse of the cell. You will always remember it, because the food that you eat is to be converted into energy to utilize it, and the conversion of energy, or you can say the generation of energy from those digested food, is carried out by the process of respiration. Don't get yourself confused about respiration. Respiration does not mean taking in oxygen or giving out CO2, that is breathing. Respiration generally means generation of energy from the food that you ate, digested. So the food that you digested is generally converted into glucose. That glucose, with the process of glycolysis, turns into pyruvate, and that pyruvate later goes on through Krebs cycle, electron transmission chain, before that oxidative phosphorylation. All those things are carried out in mitochondria of the cell, and hence the energy is produced in the form of ATP. So here you saw that the 90% of the reaction of respiration, means energy generation process, is carried out in mitochondria, and so they are regarded as powerhouse of the cell, because you know what is the function of powerhouse. They generally generate or deals with the generation of power or energy, you can say. So now first of all we are going to see the diagram of mitochondria. So this is the basic diagram of mitochondria. As you can see, mitochondria is double membrane, bimembrane structure. This is outer membrane. This membrane is known as outer membrane, which is generally thin and porous. Now this thing that you are seeing is inner membrane of mitochondria. These are inner membrane. As you can see that these outer membrane are thin and porous, but the inner membranes are very thick and they have lots of folding in them. You can well see over here, these inner membrane have lots of folding in them. These foldings or curves present in inner membrane are regarded as cristae. These foldings which are present in inner membrane are regarded as cristae, and in this small granular structure that I have drawn, these are known as oxyosomes. These are known as oxyosome. These are the structure that I have drawn are genetic material of mitochondria. As I have already told you that mitochondria also contain its own genetic material. So this is genetic material of mitochondria. The thing that I have shown with this line is generally known as complexes. I am going to discuss about it later. What are these complexes do? There are different types of complexes present in mitochondria. Complexes 1, complexes 2, complexes 3. There are many types of complexes. Now first thing we are going to discuss about its structure. In that I have told you, first of all, it is bimembrane structure and bean shaped structure. As you can see over here, outer membrane is thin and porous while inner membrane is thick and have many inner foldings to it, and those foldings are known as cristae. Now see, and the component which are present under those membrane means all the component inside those mitochondria are known as matrix. The things which are present inside mitochondria will be known as matrix. In that foldings. I have shown you some granular structure over them. They are known as oxyosomes. The granular structure over cristae or attached to cristae that I have shown, they are known as oxyosomes. They produces ATPase enzyme which deals with the formation of energy in the form of ATP. They generally catalyze the reaction of formation of ATP from ADP and IP, phosphate and inorganic phosphate. They together forms ATP, and by the help of these ATPase enzyme. Now see, this genetic material, as I have told you, they have their own genome as they were surviving independently in earlier times, earlier days you can say, and these are complexes. Now see how those energy are generated. First of all, when food undergoes glycolysis, digested food undergoes glycolysis, glycolysis process is carried out in cytoplasm of the cell. You will remember it. The glycolysis process of respiration, that is first stage, is carried out in cytoplasm of the cell, and then after that pyruvate is formed, and that pyruvate get to mitochondria and forms FADH2, NADH. These are the components which generally starts the formation of energy, and then those FADH2 and NADH is taken up by these complexes that I have drawn. That electron released from hydrolysis due to hydrolysis process that goes on with that. There are certain electrons transmitted by them. Those electrons jumps from one complexes to another. First goes to first complex, second complex. The electron goes on jumping from one complex to another, due to which the proton is given out to the space present between the membrane. Here you can see the intermembrane space. In that, protons are released, while the electrons keep on jumping from one complexes to another. In that time you will find that the protons, because electrons are never alone, they are always with some protons. Electrons keep on jumping from those complexes, leaving protons behind, and the protons are getting concentrated to the intermembrane space. When the concentration of proton becomes higher in those intermembrane space, due to concentration difference, it starts getting inside into the matrix, and after that what happens? These ATPase enzyme starts adding ADP to IP, and these two together give out ATP, and this is what our energy currency is. Means energy is generated in the form of ATP, that is adenine triphosphate. So how energy are produced inside mitochondria, this is not topic of our class. These things what I've told you now is generally taught in class 11, so never mind if you didn't got what I've told. But the thing that you need to know about mitochondria is all about its structure and the function that I have told you. You will always remember it. In that I have told you mitochondria is a bimembrane structure where outer membrane is thin and porous, inner membrane is thick and have many curvings or foldings, you can say. Those foldings are known as cristae, and over cristae you find lots of granular structure attached to them. Those granular structure are known as oxyosomes. Oxyosomes deals with the generation of enzyme known as ATPase enzyme, also known as ATP synthase enzyme. So don't get yourself confused, because in some books you will find ATP synthase, in some book you will find ATPase. Both are same, so don't get yourself confused. So these enzymes deals with the conversion of ADP and IP, or means with that ATP is formed, which is our energy currency. So basically this mitochondria is dealing with the energy generation process, and hence they are regarded as powerhouse of the cell. So this is all about mitochondria. Now we are not going to discuss further any topic. This is all for today. I will provide you notes today. You will get all the notes till mitochondria, and I am also going to send some of the questions so that you can practice those questions and get to know what all you have learned in all these classes that have been taken. So keep studying. Thank you so much.